So I'm gonna use our Atom Live server. We are doing HTML and JS and CSS. So I'm just gonna go through these documents very quickly because we don't have a lot of time. Give me a second, let me just load up my browser. In case anybody has a question, you can always ask. Okay. Oh, I think the live server is not running. Let me just confirm. I hope the audio is okay.
Yes, the
audio is
okay. Thanks. I think my browser is doing some stuff. Right here. It's running the wrong file. I'm gonna close this tab. Okay. Can you give me a second? Let me just load up the browser. Oh, okay. I'm going to go through this thing quickly. I don't want this browser to be turned on. So I'm going to do, this is going to confuse you even more. So we have two files here, and there's index.css and index.html. So these are the two files we're going to work with, and maybe another JavaScript file I'm going to add in a few minutes. So I'm going to just explain a few things here. Yeah, this is everything we need from the .html file. So the normal declaration HTML5, the opening of HTML, and the header section. I hope everybody's okay with these sections. We had discussed this on our previous sessions, so I'm gonna be very quick here. So we have the body tag here, and I created this section called the wrapper. This is a div element, and I'm going to do everything in this section. Every operation is going to happen there. It's actually like the entire screen, and this is the information you're seeing on the screen on the browser here. You can see there's this simple to do application, the title, and the login. If you are okay, this information, there's this login, sign up button, and login button. So this is the information I've been showing you right now, and the buttons are here. And I think I'm done here. In case anybody has a question, you can always ask, and I'm going to share the link to the project later on. So this is everything we need. HTML, CSS is going to be a little bit longer, but I'll leave this to you guys in case you are interested in the HTML. Okay, these animations and all those kind of stuff, you can always come and check this right here. So in case we get time at the end of the meeting, maybe I can go through it quickly. So I'm just going to be very quick. So I loaded the JS file, which doesn't exist right now. I'm going to just add it. And there's this index.css. I've loaded it here. So there's index.css. The file we don't have is the index.js. I'm going to add it here. So I'm creating the file. The file is already there. Just to confirm, I'm going to click on the link here. Yeah, it's there. So this is Atom Live server. It will auto refresh automatically if there's any change. So, Polasta. Polasta.
Yes, Duncan.
Do I have to go through the question? Because
well, yes,
maybe
it is
okay.
in order. It is in order.
Should I read the question to the
Maybe you share the
congregation?
screen. Share the screen with
Okay.
the question. Yeah, of the project description.
Let me check where I have the file. Give me a second. I think it's on my screen here. Okay. I hope this is visible to everybody. Let me just add okay. Is this a better?
So it is. You can read out. It's okay right now.
Also, should I read it out? So
Sure, as quick as you can, so that we just understand. You see, we are to our basic understanding of the requirements.
okay, so we are creating a simple to-do application, and we are using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The JavaScript we are using is Vanilla JS. So we are going to store information using the local storage object built into most of the browsers, and we don't need any backend kind of services like APIs and any kind of backend services. So this is a single page application. A single page application is an application which doesn't load any other page. It's just using the same page to render each and every uh, other page. Actually, it's not even embedding. It's just reusing the same page, but updating content and the layout of stuff and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you how it looks maybe later. So as you can see here, the page does not reload, and the links should not lead to any other page outside the same file I've been talking about. This index.html. We should only use that file. We should not use any other file. Uh, yeah, okay, I think this is the explanation of what I've been talking about, in case you want to read the ideas. So I'm starting with the index. Okay. So when the page is loaded, the user should see this information here, the login, sign up, title, and the description of the page, and the sign up button. There's this description for the sign up button and the login button here. Let me just give you an abstract overview of this long information here. So the normal way you do any web project is that you're gonna check if in case the username and password and all those kind of stuff meets a certain criteria. If in case it doesn't, you have to display to the user if in case we have to adjust one or two things. So this is the section. Also, this login, you have to confirm if in case the username and password already exist in our local storage. The local storage is like the object I was telling you about. We're gonna store information here. So the username and password should match. If it doesn't match, we need to inform the user the information are incorrect and they need to retry. In case it's successful, we have to redirect the user to this page. Actually, it's not a page. This is a single page application. It's just updating the content. We're going to display the dashboard information, listing all the to-dos and enabling, displaying the add to-do buttons and those kind of stuff. I'm not so sure in case we can share this document with everybody in case they want to make reference to what you're discussing here, but I'm sure people are still working on it. So there's this other page. So the functionality we are supposed to add to this page is that we list all the to-dos and user can edit, add, and save to-do list and actually updating in case the to-do list, the to-do item has already been achieved or not. If in case I'm very fast, you can always tell me I can go slower. So there's this other section. Whenever the user clicks the login button, they should be logged in case they provide the correct credentials. And whenever they are logged in, we should display to them the logout button. And also, we should also display a button that reads our account settings where they can change and update their information as they like. So this section is talking about the unique users. For this case, I'm using email address as a unique field. Obviously, we can't have two people sharing the same email address. So I'm using this field as the unique field. I don't think it's necessary for me to finish this part.
Okay, you can move on.
Okay, so I'm going to be very quick here. I'm going to start with the login. Since the functionality that I want to achieve here, part of it is applicable to the sign up. I'm going to extend it. So I'm going to start with the login and then go to the sign up. And I'll go to dashboard and list and then users. So I'm gonna be very quick. I'm gonna start from the login here. So hold on. Okay. So we are here. I've created the index.js file. So the first thing I hope the font is visible. Is anybody seeing my font, or should I increase it further? I am assuming the silence means you guys are seeing.
Iko sawa.
Okay, thank you. So I have all the files open, so I don't need the sidebar. So we have loaded it, the file we've loaded it here, and the CSS file here. So I'm just gonna go straight here. So I'm going to define the variable local store. The local store is just the local storage, the storage container built to the browser. Local storage. I hope I think yeah, the spelling is correct. I thought maybe I missed something. So the first thing I want to do is define the two buttons. Let me show you. I want to select these two buttons and add an event listener to each and every button here. So doing that, I'm going to do let me confirm the classes I have used here. Okay, you can see the sign up has a class sign up and the login has a class login. So I'm going to use that to query using the JS script. So I'm going to say sign up button. I'm going to equivalent it to query selector. So I'm going to do a dot sign up. This is a class selector, and I'm selecting the element to the class sign up. I'm doing the same for the login button. I'm going to do login. Just to be sure that I have those two elements selected, I'm going to console log them. I'm going to go to my browser, my dev tools, and query selector. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be document.query selector. I hope the screen is still visible to everybody. Yeah, okay. This is supposed to be document.query selector. This is just a method of selecting an object, an HTML object from JavaScript. So I'm selecting an element with the class sign up. Also here I'm selecting an element with the class login, as I had shown you earlier. This one has a class sign up and this one has a class login. I'm gonna refresh my browser. I think it's preserving the logs. Yeah. So you can see there's this button that has already been selected, and there's this other button already selected. As you can see, when I hover each and every one of them, they shown on the screen which button is which. And just to confirm for anybody who got lost somewhere, I printed the content of the two variables to the console. That's why it's displaying the elements here. So I'm going to remove this line, and I'm gonna do a login button dot add event listener. This is the way to add an event listener. The type of event I want to add, and the function I am attaching it to. So the event I'm attaching this button is the click event. Whenever somebody clicks on this button or this button, you'll get this function executed. So I'm gonna do the same for login. I'm just gonna change the name to this is login. I'm doing the same for sign up. Sign up button dot add event list now. Just to be sure everything is working, I'm just gonna do console.log. I'm gonna do hello world. I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna click on each and every button. As you can see, it's printing the statements. So what I want to do right now is whenever any of these buttons are clicked, I want to clear the DOM. Let me just show you the element I want to set its content to be now. This one. Okay, this is the container of everything in this page. So I want to set it to, I want to remove all the elements inside this div element. So let me just go back to the console and open my text editor. I'm going to write a function here. I'm going to call it reset DOM. And I'm going to have it as a arrow function. What I wanted to do is just reset the DOM. So I'm going to select this element, this div element with the class wrapper. I'm going to define it as a global variable. I'm going to call it, let me just call it container. And I'm going to do a query selector of the wrapper class. I hope I'm not moving fast. So what I want to do here is I'm going to do container dot inner HTML. And I hope you guys know what inner HTML means. Yeah, it means the content of this container. I'm removing everything. I'm just setting the HTML of container to be nothing. So I think this function is done. I'll just call it from any of the two functions. I'm doing that. Let me just demonstrate the functionality. I'm gonna confirm the refresh is working, and you can see everything disappears apart from the wrapper. It's the only thing that remains. So you can see each and every button has that functionality because I'm calling the reset DOM from each and every event attached to each and every button. So I'm going to remove this allow. I'm going to also remove this one. So we agreed we're going to start with the login. So I want to build the form that is going to be used to collect the login information from the user. So what I want to do is I'm just going to create another function. I'm just going to call it build login form. It's an arrow function. Okay. So what I want to do is there's the label that displays the error. I'm going to have it at the top. There's also the title of the page, maybe login and do stuff like that. I'm going to show you, so don't worry. I'm just going to first create I'm just going to call this title, the title of the page. And the way to create an element, you just do a document that create element, and the element you want here. So I just want to do is it H1? I think H1 will do. So H1. So H1, I'm gonna, okay, I think this is it. H1.inner HTML, I'm gonna say log into our page to get better experience. This can be anything you prefer. I'm just writing this for the purpose of demonstration. Experience. And well, the thing I want to do is each and every time you create an element, you need to append it to the parent container. Okay, the parent container can be this, and also I can have it inside the form. So let me just append this to the parent container, the wrapper. I'm going to create the form after this. I'm going to add this to the wrapper. Now I'm just gonna add some comments here. I'm gonna say title of the form. Yeah, I don't know if in case my code is very squared or is everybody okay with this? You guys okay? Okay, I can see the responses are positive. So I'm going to create the form. I'm just gonna add a little comment here. I'm just gonna say adding form. I'm going to comment that, and I'm gonna do let form. I'm going to assign it to document.query. Not really document.create element. I'm going to give it the form. It's creating a form here, and the form can have a couple of attributes. Let me just demonstrate how to add attributes to that form. There's that this attribute that says method is equals to maybe get or post, and the action is the target URL you want to submit the data to. I'm just gonna add it here, but it does not have any purpose since we are not communicating with any backend. But I'm just going to demonstrate. So to add an attribute, I'm gonna do form. This form I have defined here. I'm going to say set attribute. The attribute I want is the method. I'm going to set it to post. It doesn't have any purpose though, but I'm just adding it for the sake of a demonstration. So I'm going to also set attribute, and I'm going to set the action. Action is the URL you want to submit the data to. I'm just going to leave it blank. It means the current URL. And the last thing I want to do to the form is I want to say I want to attach it to the wrapper container so that it can be visible. If I don't attach it to the wrapper, it won't be visible. You won't even see it. It's just in memory. This is an element built inside the RAM, and it won't be really displayed on the screen. So I'm just gonna do wrapper dot append child. The child is called form. You don't expect to see anything. Oh, before I go there, you have to call this function inside the login button here. I hope everybody is following. So on the login, we have wrapper is not defined. Let me just confirm. Oh, I called the wrapper container. I don't know why I just missed that part. I think this should work now. Yeah, you can see login to our page to get a better experience. There is a statement here. The title has been appended, and the form, it's there, but you can't see it because you don't see the form elements. But I'm going to show you using the console. So we have the form is here, and you can see the method is set to post, and the action. Okay, the action is was nothing, so it's left like that. But let me just change a few parameters. Let me just do a get so that you can see it's reflecting on the screen. I'm gonna expand this and expand this as well. Where is the form? Oh, okay. I need to click this. So the form is here. The method is now set to get. Action is blank. I can say action to google.com, although it doesn't accept my data. It's just this is just like a domain, but it's not a big deal. I just want to show you how it's supposed to work with the, yeah, you can see action is equals to google.com, the domain you want to submit data to. I'm going to remove that because we are not doing that right now. I'm going to return this to post just for the sake of formalities. I'm going to leave it like this. And I think I'm done. So we need to move to the next step before we go any further. We need the input fields. The two input fields we need is we need the email field. And, we also need a password field. Password input field. Let me just say password input field. So to create an input field, I'm just gonna do the same thing I've been doing. Document.create element, passing the input element as the parameter in that function. So let me just get down to this thing. So I'm gonna define an email field. This is a variable, and I'm assigning it to the document.create element. The element I want is called input. Let me just go down. I'm going to be attaching this email to the form, not the container. The container is the parent and it's containing the form. And now the form is the container to this input field. So I'm gonna do I want some special belongs to email. And the page and I'll show you the field here. It doesn't look that much though, but it's gonna get better. So we have email field. I want to set an attribute called placeholder. The placeholder it's not even done like this. This placeholder is used to I think it's better I do a demonstration. Placeholder. I want to do attribute I'm setting is placeholder, then the content is set to let me just enter your email address. Yeah, you're gonna see this. As you can see, it says enter your email address. I'm also gonna do I don't know in case there's any other thing I need. Okay, let me just add a class. I'm gonna do class list. Class list is just a way of adding classes to one HTML element. The class I want to add is called email. Okay, doesn't look that much though. Let me just check it in case I had a selector for that. Okay. I hope you guys are gonna pass through this later. I don't think I had any selector. I'll just confirm. So we have the email field already appended to the DOM. So we want to do the same thing for password. I'm gonna do let password. This is a variable. I'm going to create an HTML element and passing the input. I want field an element of this type input. I'm gonna do set attribute. This is gonna be password dot set attribute. The attribute I want is the placeholder text. I'm adding enter your password. So it doesn't look much though, but there's one thing I forgot here. I don't know in case anybody had seen this, but I need to define the type of input. I need to do input of this type should be set to email, and also for the password field, that set attribute, and I'm going to set type to be password. So it's going to behave like a normal form from a normal form. There's I didn't add the child to the form just like I did for the email. I told it it's not going to display anything. So I'm just gonna do form dot okay dot append child. The child I want to append is called password. Just to be sure, let me just go back. You can see they are here. Let me just confirm. I don't know why. I think I'm missing a class or something. Let me just make reference to the an earlier version of this. Hold on. I don't know in case the CSS is working. The CSS is okay. I'm gonna look at it later, but so long as it's working, we can check later why the CSS is not applying. So I'm gonna proceed. We also need a button. The button is the submit button. Oh yeah, and the submit button. So I'm gonna do let submit button. I'm gonna create the document that create element. The element I want is a button. The attributes I want to set to that button is the type of button. The type of button, and the button is a submit button. The thing I want to also add is now there's a class called btn. Let me just confirm it's there. It's used for the CSS. This styling. So I'm just gonna do submit button dot class list and add btn class. Okay, so I want to add it to the form, and submit button. Oh, I didn't set the content. You can see it's blank. Yeah, the form looks gibberish. I'm gonna look at it in a few minutes. Oh, and I did a method post. It's trying to submit to the Atom Live server post request, and it's not accepting any of such requests like that. Okay, so the thing I want to do here is submit button, HTML, and I'm gonna do login. Yeah, okay, this should display the content. Oh, I need to click this button. Oh, it says login. Oh, let me confirm with this CSS file. What's happening? The text is getting centered. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna continue for now. I can't see any problem with this script. Sure, I'm missing something here. The form was supposed to be displaying correctly, but the logic is there. So we already have that. Enter your email address and password. You can see the password. Okay, there's one problem though. The password is not visible since I did text color should be white. Hold on. Let me just set the text color to be black. Okay. I'm gonna do black for now. I'm sure we're running out of time. I don't want to really waste a lot of time trying to fix CSS, and the main goal was doing JavaScript. Okay, we have a little problem. Oh, I didn't comment this out. So it's black, it's visible. We'll continue. Okay, so we have the button. So I'm gonna finish up with the functionality for the button. So once this function is executed, we know there's a button in the down. So I want to get that button. So I'm gonna do a login button. You should not confuse this with the button I had defined earlier. I'm going to leave this blank. I want to go back so that you don't get confused. Oh, I have to give it another name since this one is occupied. It's used in the global scope. It's going to override though, but I don't want to clash the names. I'm gonna do, let me just give it another name. Let me just say login here. I'm sure you're gonna find a creative way of naming your variables. So I'm calling it login here, and I'm querying a button. Let me just confirm the button is selected. So I'm going to console login here and see what happens. So I'm going to open my console. Yeah, the button is there. I'm going now to attach an event listener to this function. This is a element. And I'm going to add an event listener. The event listener, the click event listener. I'm attaching it to an arrow function, taking the event variable, the event argument. It's always passed to any event handler. So it's an arrow function. That is the syntax. So let me just do something. Let me just console log this. At least we know the event listener is working. So I'm gonna click this. Oh yeah, you can see. Okay, it was very quick, but you saw it console logged and wrapped everything and disappeared, trying to make us okay, submit the request. I'm going to just prevent that default behavior. I'm going to do e.prevent default. Preventing the default behavior of the button. It's not going to submit the form. It's going to just ignore that and do nothing since I have not written anything inside the function. So let me just go here. Yeah, you can see it's not submitting the form and it's console logging the argument E, the event that has been given to this one. So I'm going to remove this. And once somebody clicks this one, I'm gonna hold on. So I want to create a function that's going to handle the form. I don't know in case I should have it here. Login. Okay, I'm gonna have it just here. I'm gonna call it handle form. I'm going to stick to the convention we've been using, the arrow functions. I want to call this method here. So once somebody clicks on this login button, the default behavior will be disabled and this function will be called. So we are going to add the implementation for this handle form function. So one thing I want to do is inside this section here, hold on. Inside this function here, I want to add a field that is going to be displaying the array information if there is any, or yeah, just displaying the array information. So we have the title. I'm going to add it inside the form. I'm going to create the error label. I'm just going to call it error label. It's just a label. So I'm going to call it error label. I hope I don't have any other variable by the name error label. It's not even there. So I'm going to use it. So error label is a variable I'm going to assign to the output of this create element function. I'm gonna create a p tag. P tag is the paragraph. I want to append a p tag to the form, and that should be it. It should contain nothing. So come here, the function that's handling the form once it's submitted, the login button has been clicked. So I'm gonna check the fields. I have to requery the HTML elements, the email and password field. Once again, since these ones were just the elements themselves, and they're in another function, so I can't access them. I have to redefine them inside this function so that I can use them. So I'm gonna do let all fields. I'm just gonna do all fields, all the fields that is in the DOM. So I'm just gonna do query selector. Selecting all the input elements. All the input elements, I'll have the login, the email address, and the password there too. So I need to do query selector all. I'm selecting all of them. So at index 1, we will have the password field, and at index 0, we'll have the email field. So just to confirm, I don't want any of them to be empty. So I'm just going to do if all fields at index 0. This is an HTML element, so I need to do dot value to get the content of that variable is equals to nothing. I'm going to use the OR operator. I'm also going to select the second input field and get its content, compare it with nothing. If any of this condition is met, any of the fields is empty, that is, I should execute this if statement. So inside the if statement, I want to make use of the attribute I created earlier, this one, the error label. I'm going to redeclare the same variable with the same name, since this one is in the same, in a different function. It's not going to have any conflict with what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do, let me just define it here. So I'm going to say error label is equals to document.query selector. And I'm selecting the element to the class error label. Let's confirm it with the class name. Yeah, it's not there. It's supposed to be error label dot class list dot add, and I'm gonna do error label. Now I have this class. I can select it from this section here. Let me just confirm, even in case you have everything intact. I'm just gonna do error log label and come back to my console. Click the submit. Yeah, it's there. Very good. So I'm going to remove this line. So if any of the fields is empty, I'm going to say error label.inner HTML. I'm going to set it to, I'm going to say all the fields must be filled. And I don't need any more information. Yeah, and after doing that, I don't want any of the rest of the code to be executed. I'm going to just end the execution there. If in case it passes this condition, it means that all the fields are filled. What I want to do now after doing that is I'm going to check the email address. I think the best way of doing this was okay. I can work with this though. The email address is this one. The first element, which is index 0, and the second element, index 1, is the password. Since we selected all of the input fields, it is giving us this field and this field. So index 0 and index 1. I hope it's visible. So I'm gonna try and check in the local store. To check an element if it exists, you just do get element, get item. The item is the key. The argument I'm passing it here is the key. So just for I want to test the content. I want to test the output of this function. So I want to store it in a variable. I'm going to call it data. And let me just call it a response. I'm hoping it doesn't clash with anything. So response, if in case we have an item with the key I'm supposed to pass here, it will return the item. If in case it doesn't, it's going to return null. So I want to use the email field as the key. As I told you, it's going to be the unique field. So I'm going to do index 0 and the value. I'm going to do also response. This is an if statement. I'm testing whether there's anything inside the variable response. So if response, okay, I'm going to say if not response, it means like the response is empty. I'm just gonna do console log nothing. I'm just gonna do nothing for now. I'm going to display how we can use that. Oh, it says okay, these are the part here is executing. Let me just add some dummy information. Oh, the form is so small. Let me check in case I can find the bug. Let me zoom. I'm gonna work with this for now. I hope it's not a big deal. For now, we're gonna try and have some dummy information and see what the form is gonna output. So I'm clicking this field. Now let's go to the console. It says nothing. It didn't find anything in the local storage. The local storage, by the way, is found here in the application section and this section. If there's any items added to the local storage, you will always see it in this table here. Since there's nothing, we are querying for an email field that goes like DFH, this one, and it doesn't exist. So it's gonna give us the message, there's nothing to display. This information I logged out here. And what I want to do is I want to end the execution of this function here, if in case it doesn't find anything. So what I want to do here is I'm going to reuse this error label. I'm going to say error label.inner HTML, and I'm going to set the content to I'm going to say no user with search information with that email address was I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm ending the execution of the function. If in case it doesn't end, it means there's something inside this response. So I'm going to do hold on. I think I should leave it here for now because I want to show you something. I'll have to go back to the sign up form before I can come and finish this part. I'm gonna just call this to do finish later. I'm gonna come back here, so I'm hoping nobody will get confused. So our form is working fine. It's checking the information if there's any information in our local storage and confirming none of the fields is empty. I'm going to go back to the sign up. Sign up was here. So we have the reset form. Oh, this one is asking me to save my password. So the sign up form, it's resetting the DOM. I want to also have a sign up form function. I'm just gonna add it down here. Yeah, I'm going to add it here. This function is ending here. Just take note of that. The handle form is ending here, so I'm defining the new function outside that function. So I'm gonna do build a sign up form. I'm using arrow functions as I've been using, and I'm going to make sure I'm calling this function from this section. I hope nobody is lost so far. So this is the sign up button with the event click. If in case it is clicked, it's going to reset the DOM and call this function. This function is going to build the DOM. So what we want to do right now is I'm going to declare a few variables. I'm going to use the other form. I'm going to make reference to it. So we have a title, and we have a form and a mirror label. And so I'm going to define those variables here too. So I'm going to say form is equals to document.create form. Create element, sorry. The element I want is the form. And at the end of the at the end I want to do a container. And at the end the child call form. So the attributes I want to define for the form is one is the action. We agreed it's not going to do anything, but I'm just going to do it since that is how it's usually done. So I'm also going to say form.set attribute method. I'm setting it to post. I don't know in case I'm forgetting anything else. Hold on. Let me just confirm from the previous form. Okay. I think this should be enough for now. Oh, I think I remember something. There was a class called form. I think this is the cause of everything. Yeah, there's a class called form. So I need to add the class also here. I'm going to say form.class list.add. I'm going to add the form class. I'm also going to add here the form class. Class list.add form. I don't know in case. Oh, that is nice. I think that is the part I had forgotten. I hope everybody is still following up. Is everybody there?
Yes, we're here. We're here. Um,
Okay,
10 minutes
okay.
to go.
Pardon?
10 minutes to go.
So I'm gonna be very quick. I hope so far nobody has any question and everybody understands everything I've taught. So I'm gonna be very quick. So I was here in this position where you had mentioned that I had forgotten the form class. The form class is defined here. These are the CSS stylings that are supposed to be applied to that form. So you can see the form now looks this awesome. We have the sign up now. We're working on that. So I have defined the form element. I have to define also the error label, the place we are going to be displaying the errors whenever there's any error that needs to be displayed to the user. So it was a p tag. It had a class called it was error label. I don't know even in case I'm forgetting something. Let me just confirm from the previous implementation. I told you guys it's gonna borrow a lot from the login. Oh, I think I'm good. I'm gonna now append it to the form. So the method I was showing you how to append an element to the form was you just do the form element that I've defined on top here. I'm gonna do form dot append the child element. The child element being error label. So I have defined those two. We need also I need to define the title. I'm gonna define the title here. I'm gonna say title is equals to document that create element. And the element I want to create was an h1. The title I'm going to set the attribute in HTML. I'm setting the content to sign up to the application. I'm just gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna attach it to the container. The container was all the container was this element here. So I'm going to go back and finish up with this. So I'm gonna say append child. The child I want to append is the title. I think that should be good. So just to be very quick, I'm just gonna I hope it's no big deal. I'm gonna copy some code here. I'm gonna explain as I adjust. So we have the error label. I'm gonna paste this. We need an email field. The email field should have a placeholder. This and the type should be set to email, and the class list we're using the same class list. I need to append to the form, so the form should be containing this email field. So I want to append the child email field. I'm just gonna use the same information. We also have a field for user. No, it was first name. I'm gonna leave it like this. It's supposed to be an input. It's supposed to be an input element. So the placeholder should read like enter your first name. The first name, and I'm going to adjust this too. I'm also going to do this so that I don't forget. I'm going to also do that. The class, this is supposed to be set to text, the type of field. I don't think this one really, we don't need this. Let me just confirm we are on the right track. So we have I think I didn't spell the word first name correctly. I think I said first or first name. So we have that. We don't need this. We also had a field for the last name. I hope you guys are okay so far. Yeah, I'm going to also paste this and I'm going to say last name. Last name, it should be of type in, it should be an input element. I'm gonna update the variable name. Placeholder should read enter your last name, and it should be an input of type text. I'm appending the last name. So we are here. I'm gonna just confirm, and we are okay. Yeah, we're still good. Let me just confirm which other field are we missing here. From the sign up. Oh, we need the password field and a confirmation of the password. So I'm just gonna do this. Okay, I hope we're still good. Somebody's turning the microphone on. I can listen to myself. So I'm just gonna say password. Let me just call password field. I'm using the same variable here. Just take a minute to understand what's going on. So I'm gonna say enter your password. The password should be of type password. It's gonna be hidden in the DOM. So I'm appending the field. I think this should be good for now. Let me just confirm it in case it's still good. So you can see the password field. It's not typing. It's not displaying the text. It's displaying these dots. It's hiding the characters. For the rest of the fields, it's displaying the content. The rest also does the same. So I need a confirm. I need another field called confirm password field. I'm using the same implementation for the first one. I'm just changing the variable name. I'm going to say confirm password field. I'm going to use this here and change this to confirm password field. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So the placeholder text should be saying enter your or confirm your password. It should say confirm your password. Confirm your password. Yeah, I need this variable updated to confirm password. I need to append confirm password to the DOM, the form. And then we had already discussed container is going to hold the form. So I'm appending it to the form. So let me just refresh. We have all these fields. So it says confirm password. I don't know if in case this screen is visible to you guys. Let me just yeah, I think this should be fine. I hope everybody's seeing this. I don't know. Oh, I zoomed in. I didn't. Yeah, we should be here. So we have all this information here. One thing is missing, the button that says sign up. I'm gonna refresh. You can see the login button is here. The sign up button is not there. So I'm going to add it here. I'm gonna say let sign up button. So I'm just gonna call it another name. Sign up. Let me just call it submit. Submit button. The submit button declared earlier was in another function, so it's not going to have any problem with this variable. So I'm just gonna create the document, the element. The element is a button. The button should have a class called btn. That is my class. I had created earlier somewhere on this CSS. I'm going to share later. So we have that. So I need to also set some few attributes. The attribute I want to set is the type of button we're creating. The type should be set to submit button. The submit button, I'm gonna say also form dot pen child. The submit button. It's going to add it to the form. I don't know in case I'm forgetting something. Yeah, I am forgetting something. These are the inner HTML, the content. I'm gonna set it to sign up. I think this should be good. Let me just go there right now. So we have this form right now created by JS. So whenever you click this, you can see it's sending a post request to the Atom Live server, and the Atom Live server doesn't accept any post request from this page. So I'm gonna go back to here. I'm going back here. So I will define a variable. I'm gonna call it a sign up here, just like I declared earlier. For the uh, for the login, I'm going to declare sign up here. I'm just gonna do a document query selector. The selector I'm selecting is a button. So I'm sure there's somebody right now asking themselves why I'm doing a query selector and there are these buttons. The sign up and these are the one login button. So each and every button will appear in turn. So this one will appear and this other one won't appear. So it's kind of like a mutual exclusive event. So when I do query selector, there's only one button in that DOM. So I hope that is clear. So I want to add an event listener. The event listener is click event listener. I'm attaching it to an arrow function, taking the event argument. And the implementation I want to add here is that I want to first prevent the default behavior of the button. So it won't submit anymore. Just to be sure, I'm going to come here and click the button. You can see there's no submission taking place. So Paula, stop. I don't know
Yes,
if in
done.
case do I still have time or do we pause for now?
Well, schedule. Well, I don't know. It's up into our time, so we return to at like we were supposed to end at well by 50. So up to now, maybe I don't know other guys what they are thinking, because what is left is storage in the local storage, and maybe handling sessions on the dashboard and creating a note. My point could be we might not be able to complete that now, so we can because we were to have part 1 and part 2, because doing it in one session will be a bit tiresome, because you see we are most of the code are written for JavaScript, like we are trying to generate the DOM using JavaScript. So because the page why we are doing this on the document condition that we wrote, that the page was not to reload. That was a condition that we wrote. So we don't want reload to be reloading. So for it not to reload, you have to be on every click. You have to be loading the. We have to be loading the interface, the DOM interfaces from a script. That is the point why we are doing this. So up to here, maybe somebody can say something, but I think we are home and dry. We can consider having the next session to clear up. Somebody can say, what do you think?
And if you have any question, also you can always ask. We are here to help.
Yeah, sure. If you have another question, you can also shoot it, and this is the right place and right time to shoot it. Because considering now we are going to have a wrap it up from this at this point.
Oh, Anne was asking for the quiz. Paula, do you have any means we can share the